Are you looking for the best Sony camera for movie making? In this video we will look at some of the best Sony camera for movie making on the market. Before we get started with our video,
we have included links in the description for each product
so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Sony A7 III. I have been working with diversified production houses for approximately 5 years and indeed being very successful in every command. I constantly received fantabulous annotations from my teammates that were the results of my Sony partner, who enabled me to do so. This camera brand has dramatically enhanced its capability of recording stunning 4K movies with immaculate consequences. Recently I met with another model Sony A7 III and was very thrilled about the usage. And this camera had assured reliability for the user to achieve their destination point very quickly. I was very joyful when I first consumed it for my cinematography purpose. Its operability is heightened for different accessibilities like fast control during shooting, dazzlingly clear views over the TrueFinder, and much more, making it the best Sony camera for movie making. Advanced 24.2MP full-frame image sensor W/1.8x readout speed. Advanced 24.2MP back illuminated 35mm full-frame image sensor. Bluetooth yes, Bluetooth standard Ver 4.1, 2.4 GHz band. Compatible with Sony E-mount lenses. External flash compatibility. Sony Alpha system flash compatible with multi-interface shoe. Attach the shoe adapter for flash compatible with auto-lock accessory shoe. Battery life, movie, actual recording approximate 115 minutes, viewfinder, /approximate 125 minutes, LCD monitor, SEPA standard, battery life, movie, continuous recording approximate 200 minutes, viewfinder, /approximate 210 minutes, LCD monitor, SEPA standard, battery life, still images approximate 610 shots, viewfinder, /approximate 710 shots, LCD monitor, SEPA standard, internal battery charge, yes, available with multi/micro USB terminal or USB Type-C terminal. At number 2. Sony A9 II. The Sony A9 II is sheer magic, further an excellent deal for movie making because its stunning shooting performance is made to be a companion of passionate professionals. The improved autofocus, high-end picture quality, advanced workflow aid, polished performance, trustworthiness, and flexibility are all top-notch for freezing action movies. This Sony baby champ had been my partner for years since it steadfastly tracked action movie freezing. An action movie portrays the director's vision, and I have been able to realms of its verified upgradation. Its AF tracking is the best option for movie makers. Whenever I hold a camera to capture an action movie, its great focus overwhelms me. I review it as a first-class gear that stands as an expert one grasping high-quality pro capabilities and incredibility to every you. Created specifically to support working professionals in the fields of sports photography and photojournalism, the Alpha 9 II delivers unmatched performance including blackout-free continuous shooting at up to 20 frames per second with autofocus and auto-exposure tracking at 60 calculations per second, plus continuous shooting at up to 10 frames per second with mechanical shutter. Evolved artificial intelligence autofocus with real-time AF tracking for accurate image acquisition and built-in connectivity and file delivery for the professional's workflow with file transfer over SSL or TLS encryption, FTPS, for increased data security. At number 3. Sony A6600. Thumbs up to Sony A6600 photographic camera, the ultimate premium APS-C power in your hands. It was introduced as a full-fledged movie shooter for your vision. I guess a fantastic toolkit all around that not only gives you impressive stabilization, high-quality imaging, 4K steadfastness, and AF features but also blows every user's mind with locking perfectness in each encounter. Known Norway had been a professional shutterbug, more densely familiar with gears throughout the photographic community. A few months ago, I was walking back from my studio carrying Alpha Supremacy. My colleague had taken me to a movie shooting site. It was a horror movie shoot, and the cameraman was miserable in the exact light entrance to dusty black eminence. I recommended he use my camera, which is aimed at true-to-life sensor compensation. And more than expectations, this camera had done so. Features, model name, Sony A6600 lens mount, Sony at effective megapixels, 24.2 megapixels, 6000 by 4000, ISO sensitivity, 100 to 32000, extended, 50 to 100 and 2400, shutter speed, January 4000 to 30 seconds image stabilization, sensor shift, 5-axis aperture priority, f/3.5-5.6, w/f/22-36, t, with a 7-blade aperture image size, 16:9 raw bit depth, 14-bit autofocus sensitivity, -2 to +20 EV ISO/shutter speed. As a user of this camera, I am always fulfilled because it delivers the best fallout, even in low-light situations. And you will also be able to capture dazzling portraits if you start using this camera because its customizations of 100 to 32,000 ISO and January 4000 to 30 seconds shutter speed are pretty good for filmmaking. Aperture/depth of field, I feel that it's enough to power in my hand when enjoying its flawlessness with its different aperture ranges f/3.5-5.6, w/f/22-36, t, along the extended depth of field. And these customizations make it a more reliable and persistent piece of equipment for you when you need focusing rich and clarity-rich contrast simultaneously. White balance/frame rate, this camera has smooth focus transition reliability of up to 120 frames per second and 4K steady flow. I guess the unbeatable insertion of colors is beyond the exceptional array of coloring tones. Why is this camera the best? Remarkably, the A6600 is a side perfectly exposed shooter. Sony AI mode is an excellent leading-edge deal for high-end picture fallouts. Conclusion: the full-frame filing in this Sony camera is excellent for everything you'd expect from a gear. At number 4. Sony A9ii FX6 Cinema. The Sony FX6 full-frame camera offers versatile, cine-style imaging in a truly compact form. With the ability to capture up to 15+ stops of dynamic range, the FX6 is poised to both supplement your FX9 or Venice capture and to nimbly take on documentary, gimbal, and drone shoots on its own. The FX6 camera combines a 4K full-frame XMR or sensor with a Bi-Inx XR engine for extremely sensitive capture in a range of settings using a base ISO of 800 as well as an ISO 12800 high-sensitivity mode for nuanced low-light scenes. While the Sony FX6 fits seamlessly into a ProCine on-set workflow, it also offers several features that are a boon for a single-operator user. These include fast and accurate phase detection autofocus with both face detection and real-time eye autofocus, both auto and manual ND filter settings for quick exposure compensation, and a 3.5-inch LCD monitor that boasts time-saving touchscreen access to key menu settings and versatile positioning for comfortable operating. At number 5. Sony FX3. My friend and I had started an excellent excretion work of short film adventure from last year. We both are very succussed, and by this worth, we had intended to look forward to switching our previous camera with the latest technology based. And found Sony FX3, which has a firm assurance for providing us with a more dynamic range, a full-frame sensor, and much better low-light accessibilities. We tried this camera by recording a thrilling video for our first use, but we faced an obstacle in which a stranger entered the wrong way. Introducing the smallest cinema line camera optimized for solo movie shooting up to 120p 4K 10-bit 4:2:2 and ISO up to 409,600 with a Cinetone and a compact cage-free design featuring 1/4-inch-20 mounting points, a top handle with XLR/TRS inputs, uninterrupted recording thanks to a cooling fan for effective heatsink and in-body image stabilization with active mode for steady handheld shooting. But we are still very gratified by the best and lasting consequences of the absolute color contrast and the incredible brightness in the video. That was become conceivable by its customized 80 to 102,400 ISO range in manual mode, which enabled us to enjoy every moment with extraordinary flawlessness. And we found it as the best Sony camera for movie making. Features, model name, Sony FX3 lens mount, Sony effective megapixels, 10.2 megapixel ISO sensitivity, 80 to 102,400 in manual mode, extended, 80 to 409,600, shutter speed, 1/8000 to 1/4 second in movie mode image stabilization, sensor shift, 5-axis aperture priority image size, 16:9 JPEG/RAW bit depth, 14-bit autofocus sensitivity, auto and manual focus ISO/shutter speed. Of course, this camera is a bit expensive, but we are happy to have this gear in our hands. Using its 80 to 100 and 2400 ISO along with a great 1/8000 to 1/4 second shutter speed can expose the very outstanding image you get.